Happy Halloween, my wee little ghosties. I'm Dan Winnington, Chancellor of Wizard Academy Whiskey Marketing School. It's Halloween. And we are going to drink Johnnie Walker Ghost and Rare because I'm just that cheesy. I was thinking about telling a ghost story, but like, I don't know, man. Do you remember the ghost story that we all heard in high school where like the guy and the girl go out in a car into the woods and then there's like a hook scraping on the hood and the boy goes out to check for it and yeah. Those are the only ghost stories I know. And then I started Googling like whiskey ghost stories and they're all like every whiskey website in the entire planet has included the same like 5 ghost stories for like the Glenrothes ghost, the Glendronach, lady, Spanish lady. Anyway, it's like, nah, let's just talk about the whiskey and about Halloween. And suspension of, there's just times when magic things happen. So, first, Johnnie Walker, Blue Label, they did a series called Ghost and Rare that was meant to highlight either closed down distilleries or historical distilleries or really rare stuff. This one is the Brora and Rare, which I think was one of the first ones. So it's using Brora among other things. It's got Brora, Petiavake, Cambus, Clynelish, Lochnagar, Glenkinchie, Glenlossie, Cameron Bridge. It's a mix of a lot of things, supposedly. But the ones that, and they're all on the side. That's so cool. I really love, okay, look, Johnnie Walker Blue is sort of like a prestige bottle where it's like, it says something that you bought a Johnnie Walker Blue. And a lot of the true whiskey nerds will turn their nose up at that and be like, oh, Johnnie Walker Blue, it's overpriced, it's blah, blah, blah. And, sure, maybe it is overpriced. But Johnnie Walker still blends great whiskey. And so would you pay for it? Probably not the amount that they're charging for it. But am I grateful to get to drink it? Sure, yeah, it's great whiskey. And it was a gift. And I can't remember who gave us this one, and we don't have their name on the bottle. So if it was you, put your name in the comments, and we'll highlight it. So Brora, the one that's primarily named after, 1819, and was originally known as Clynelish, until the Clynelish distillery opened, and Brora was renamed Brora, which was 1968. George Lawson and his sons took it over in 1846. 1896, they sold it to James Ainsley, who was a blender. He had a partner. Eventually, it got bought by the partner, John Risk, and the Distillers Company, which should sound familiar to you. Took full control of it in 1925. For about 4 years, they produced really heavily peated stuff from 1969 to 1973 for blending supply, because there was a shortage of Islay whiskey during that time. And, the magic of Johnnie Walker is that Johnnie Walker was one of the first blending guys to start this. And it was really the dad, Walker. But he was blending all these different malts together as a merchant, and he realized he needed to be able to guarantee consistency. And so when the opportunity showed up, he bought an entire distillery, which was Cardew. And that guaranteed that flavor profile for all of his blends. That became a trend with Walker, became a trend with other blenders, and then Diageo now and all of them. This is now a thing where it's like, I always want to be able to make Johnnie Walker red, black, green, So how do I make sure? Well, there's certain flavor profiles. And so so it's not just like we always have to have Clynelish, but it could be that like Clynelish provides this sort of like waxy apple note to the blends. Well, if we don't have enough Clynelish for whatever reason, what other distilleries that we own or that we can get whiskey from have that one waxy apple characteristic? Well, it could be Deanston. And so in smoke, it could be, it's Cahuilla. But if for some reason we're running low on Cahuilla smoke, they could use a different peated malt in order to provide that one component for the blends. And so when they were getting low in the late 60s or 70s, early 70s, on peated whiskey, they just switched to having one of their other distilleries, which was Brora, start making that peat component for the blends. And I just think, as a blender, I think that's really fun and really cool. But after that, 1973, almost everything coming out of Brora was more of like a light, mild peat, Highland peat, like just lightly peppery peated. And then they shut down production completely in 1983 Because remember, that was sort of like 70s, 80s was a rough, 60s, 70s, 80s, rough time for whiskey across the world. And then in 2017, Diageo announced they were opening and restarting up production. Their first spirit-filled was in May of 2021. That's not what's in this. Fair. This is not 4-year-old. And plus, this bottle predates that, if I remember correctly. Anyway, and Petivic. I can never get this right. The spelling is ridiculous. Petivic. 1974. It's a relatively baby distillery that was demolished in 2002. So anything in here come from Petivic doesn't exist anymore. Now the nose, it's got this really kind of musty caramel. It's not paper thin. It's not really grain forward. The Cambus and Cameron Bridge are really playing a light touch on this one. It does have this kind of slight fruity, light fruity, appley kind of wax note, surrounded by this coating of like sort of slight smoke, but it's smoke that's like generally in the woods in the fall kind of smoke, not like you're standing next to a campfire or you're standing over a peat fire. It's the general smell of fall and people's chimneys and leaves and vegetation. That apple note is pushing forward a little bit. It's really nice. There's the smoke. So it rolls in soft, sweet vanilla creme brulee, and then it unfurls this like charred, smoked, like a smoked cocktail kind of pull the top off, poof, fills the room. Sort of rolls out and glows a little. Okay. That's nice. The finish is shorter than I want, but each sip, the smoke unfurls just a little more, and it gets a little more. What I like about this Ghost and Rare, this one specifically, is it is absolutely one of the smokier Johnnie Walkers I've ever tried. Way more than the black, and I love that. And so they really did a great job of really holding the smoke without it just being a smoke bomb or ashy or sharp and thin and smoky. It's got richness to it. So I don't remember what it costs. I probably wouldn't have paid it, but someone donated this to the campus, and I really enjoy it. And so that's nice. That's a humble brag? It feels like a humble brag. All right. So in Halloween, what did I do? Last year I dressed up as a hobbit because it just made me laugh. And everyone was like, really, a hobbit? And it's like, yeah, I did. My favorite moment in that one, there's a picture of it. I don't know if I still have it. Anyway, it was just me sitting in my driveway because we always just set up in a driveway and then all the kids go running through the neighborhood. I'm just going to tell you guys this because I feel like you'd appreciate it. I'm going to find it on that because then I can tell you exactly. I posted it to Instagram, and then one of the first likes, or like within the first 10, come on, I'm going to not get this wrong because it'll be silly. There we go. And I just wrote it had to be done. And one of the very first likes was one of the hobbits. And what I mean is, I got the chance to be on a show with the two hobbits, Merry and Pippin, and their real names. And ever since then, they've sort of like followed me on Instagram, and I've followed the stuff. They're doing that Billy and Dom Eat the World kind of. It's a great show where they go around and visit. They were in Austin doing barbecue. Anyway, so I put up my hobbit picture, and like in the first 4 or 5 likes, one of them was Billy Boyd. And I was like, okay. I mean, does it get better than that? I don't think it gets better than that. So, does that mean that I now have to dress up as a hobbit every single Halloween for the rest of my life? I think maybe. Oh, man. Okay. Well, here's a whiskey you probably can't get. And unless you're a somm, it's still in here. You're welcome to try it. One of the only ways that you can try whiskey in our vault and on our campus is if you sign up for the whiskey marketing class. And everybody from level 1 on, you're now a somm, and that's who gets access to all of the whiskey. And we don't just like the stuff that we're willing to share, and then the fancy shit they don't get to touch. It's like, no, we've got it stored in a couple different places, but this is their resource library to try, drink, and study for. So if you've ever wanted to come to a Whiskey Level 1, you still have like 2 weeks to get your together and join us for Whiskey Level 1. I think we still have a couple of seats. Oh, and if you're seeing this, email me, daniel@wizardacademy.org. I'll give you a code to pay half price. So, because it's our alumni rate that we can gift to people if we want to. Anyway, cheers to you. Happy Halloween. And I'm really glad you're here. Boo! Like, if you like people not dressed as hobbits, but who pretended to be hobbits I just play one on TV. Then this is your channel. Like and subscribe. Also, Drive was coming up in a couple of weeks. Heads up.